Good morning. I just love cozy and cool fall mornings. This is my favorite season, especially after the heat of the summer. I'm just so excited for sweater weather and all the cool air and the baked goods. Oh, my favorite season. Speaking of baked goods, this morning we are going to make some sourdough bread. It smells so good. I always loved, my mom did a lot of yeast breads growing up, and I always loved smelling the dough when she would be making it because it smells so good. We were on vacation over the last week or so, so I did not have time to make any sourdough bread. So I got to get caught up because our house is empty of bread. There's no bread in our house. I might have to refill my flour container. I'll for sure need to fill my wheat flour container, so we'll have to do that here quick. Okay, so we got butter, honey, salt, starter, need water, flour, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna run to my basement and get some more whole wheat flour real quick, and then we'll fill that up. And I will link the sourdough sandwich bread recipe that I use in the description below, so if you wanna check it out, it'll be down there. And I do 2 cups of whole wheat flour and then 6 cups of regular all-purpose flour. Okay, and I don't know what I was thinking. I'm not putting the flour in first. We need to put our butter and everything else in first. Okay, now it's time for our flour. So the vacation we took recently, my husband and I went down to Cancun, Mexico. And that was the first time I've been to anywhere tropical or beachy for vacation. Usually I go to the mountains or just somewhere else within the States. And it was so nice. We had not been on vacation, just us two, since our daughter was born, so almost 2 years. And it was definitely needed. I mean, it's difficult to go when babies are so little and still in like the newborn stage and not even walking yet. So I don't regret that we didn't go anywhere last year. I'm happy we didn't. We stayed home and spent that time with her, but it was very nice to just get away from work and everything and just be able to relax and have us time. We also stayed at an all-inclusive resort. So if you have never done that before, I highly recommend it. It was pretty amazing. All the food you can eat, all the drinks you can drink. It was really cool. We had to like remind ourselves when we got back to the States or even the airport, like, oh yeah, we gotta pay for this. We can't just get up and walk out. All right, we have 4 cups of flour in here so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some mixing, and then we've got 4 more cups of flour to add. Our bread is all done kneading, or our dough, it's not bread yet, all done kneading, and you end up doing that for 10 minutes. You just leave your mixer on and knead for 10 minutes. And it's a lot easier to do it that way than by hand, and you're here 20 minutes doing this. So love the stand mixer for that reason. And now I need to get my bowl out so we can let it rise all day. So I'll probably be baking the bread around maybe 2 o'clock this afternoon. It takes anywhere from 5 to 10 hours to rise. So probably be this evening or this afternoon that I'll be baking the bread. Oh, there we go. And I do not put any oil in my bowl for this stage. This bowl, it doesn't stick to it, and it rises just fine and comes out just fine without any oil. So while our bread was kneading, I ended up making some pumpkin pancake batter for breakfast this morning. I haven't mixed it yet, so it's not quite done, but I had some pumpkin puree left over in my freezer, so I got that out last night to thaw, and had some Greek yogurt to use up, and I was like, oh, might as well make my Greek yogurt pancakes, sourdough pancakes, because I use sourdough discard, and use some pumpkin pie filling, or pumpkin puree, not pumpkin pie filling, to make it a little more fall and festive. So I've also got some pumpkin pie spice I'm gonna add into the batter here. Okay. We're gonna let the dough rise in the oven for almost 10 hours. Typically, I will make the dough at night, and then in the morning when I wake up, I'll separate it and put it into the bread tins, and that usually equates to 8 hours. I have quite the mess on my countertop that I'm gonna need to clean up. So we're gonna do a little tidying real quick, and then we'll finish the pancakes. Still have my amazing handy reusable towel that I told you guys about a couple videos back. All right, let's finish up this pancake batter. I love the new containers that McCormick has for their spices. They're so nice with this little flip lid. Of course, I haven't even used my whisk yet, and I put it away in the sink. Good thing I have another one. I am so excited for these pumpkin pancakes. They smell delicious. Like I said, I put Greek yogurt in here, sourdough, honey. Oh, so good. Plus the pumpkin pie spice and pumpkin puree. These are gonna be perfect breakfast. We're gonna turn this heat down because that pan is getting hotter than I want it to. We used to have a gas stove and I miss it so much. They're so easy to use and they're way easier to control the temperature on too, because if it's like getting too hot, oh, you just turn the dial down and the flame gets smaller. Electric, it's like just playing a game of let's see how hot it gets at level 2 and So I know some people will wonder or will ask, what else do you serve with your pancakes? We always do either sausage links or eggs, like scrambled eggs or however you like your eggs, doesn't really matter, because it is so important to get protein in the morning as your breakfast, because that sets you up for the whole day. So if you have a lot of like sugary stuff, you're going to have a spike in your glucose and then you're gonna crash from all the sugar at like 10 a.m. So it's super important, and we always prioritize making sure to get protein in, whether it's from Greek yogurt, some sort of meat, just something that has protein. So then, especially kids, if they're going to school, they're not starving and crashing and having cravings at like 10 a.m. where they're not gonna have lunch. Anyways, I like sausage links and also eggs to serve alongside of your pancakes. Our dough has been rising in the oven for 8 hours now, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that out. And then we're gonna pour it on or not really pour it, we're gonna put it on a floured surface, like your countertop. The dough should come out rather easily. If it plops onto your countertop and kind of goes into a flat mess, then it's overproofed, and unfortunately you'll have to start all over again. This recipe makes 2 loaves of bread, so we're gonna cut this one in half after we fold all the corners in, just kind of doing a nice roll to get the dough into a nice ball. And then we're gonna cut it in half and we will place it in 2 separate bread tins, both of them lined with parchment paper. Parchment paper is amazing and will save your life in so many different ways. It helps everything not to stick to the paper. After we get our 2 separate dough balls, we're going to flatten them out into a square and then roll them up into a loaf. So what you would see as a bread loaf. And also, don't mind if you see my husband in the background. He is currently making dinner for tonight. We are gonna have homemade pizzas. Once we get the dough put into our bread tins, we're gonna cover them with wet paper towels, or you can do a wet tea cloth. It's just to help keep some moisture in the bread so it doesn't dry out, because these are gonna sit out for another 2 to 3 hours just on the countertop, and they'll rise and get bigger sitting out on the counter. All right, it's about time to actually bake our bread. So we are gonna take the paper towels off the top of our bread loaves, and look how much more they have risen since we put them in here a few hours ago. They look so good. And then we're gonna preheat our oven to 375, and definitely wait until it's fully preheated before you put your bread in. Once it's preheated, we'll put our bread in the oven and set a timer for 45 minutes. I did end up going 3 more minutes. So I usually start out at 45 and then see if it looks nice and golden brown and like it's done, I'll take it out. But if it needs 2 or 3 more minutes, then just have 2 or 3 more minutes, but don't go past 50 minutes because then it'll be overbaked. All right, our timer went off, so that means our bread is done. And let me tell you, it smells delicious. My oven shut off. And I have a little bit of butter in the microwave that we're gonna melt and put over top of these. Ooh, nice and hot. So melted butter just makes it look pretty over top. It gives it a nice like glossy look, kind of like an egg wash. And I'm going to link the recipe that I used to make this bread in the description below. So make sure to check it out and try it for yourself at home. It is really good, I promise. You won't want to buy bread anymore after you have this bread because it tastes so good. All right, and that's it. I hope you guys try this bread recipe at home for yourselves. If you are interested in some other baking videos, check out my playlists that are linked on my page. And as always, make sure to like, subscribe, and come back again next time. Thank you.